Okay, it's going to be recording. And so while journaling is a form of writing, it's in its own right, students can also freely generate ideas and other types of writing as they journal. And so that's what we're going to be looking at. So what are we using? Seesaw. In the chat, if you can give me a level from 1 to 5, what is your level of experience with Seesaw? 1 being no experience at all, 5 being I'm an expert or ambassador to Seesaw. So if you can do that in the chat right now. Okay. So I'm seeing a lot of 1s and 2s, which is good. Because now right now you're going to gain that experience and you're going to be exposed to Seesaw for the very first time through the eyes of a student. So we're going to log in as a student. So in just a moment, I'm going to drop in a link that's going to take you to Seesaw. Okay, so I'm going to drop that link in the chat. Okay, and once you click on that, you're going to follow my directions and then we're going to log in. Let me see. We're going to log in together. Okay, so once you click on that site, and I'm gonna share my screen right now so that you can follow along if you need to. Okay. Let me see here. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna log out here because I'm logged in right now as my daughter. So you should all see this a window right here. If you don't, you'll see this window. If you're in this window, you're gonna click the button that says log in. So we're all gonna hit that log in, and then you have the ability to log in as a teacher, as a student, or as a family member. And what we're gonna all log in is we're gonna log in as a student. Does anybody have a question right now?
Laura, you're showing your like your desktop. That's what we see. Is that what? There you go. Now we go.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. There you go.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you. So we have this. So we're gonna click I'm a student. Okay, I'm a student. And here you're gonna get a text code, and I'm gonna type that in for you right now. And that is IAVNJWQN. And when you type in that text code, you're gonna click go, and then you will continue with Google. So you'll hit the continue with Google button and then log in with your Google credentials. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you 1 minute to do that.
Hi, it took me straight to my teacher's account. How do I use?
Okay, so when it took you straight to your teacher's account, on the top left side of the window, you're gonna have your name, and then there's a little gear, and you click that gear, drop down, and click sign out. Okay.
Laura, can you type the code in the chat, please?
I'm so sorry. Yes. Here, let me open up the chat.
Laura, it's taking me to like another page. Let me describe it to you. Hold on, let me get out of this so you can, it's not a sign up, but it's like a little kid dancing with their dad. And it says Seesaw on it, but it's just kind of like remote learning with Seesaw.
So there's a login on top.
So the login button on top, and then it'll take it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let me type in, I'm trying to find mine. Let me click on that. Okay, so here we go. IAVNJWQN. So there is the code.
I'm sorry. Quick question. The log out. Is it halfway down the page or all the way
Yes,
down?
all the way down to the bottom, you'll see it.
Okay, because I'm trying to find it just.
Oh, man.
So you see how right here I have my name. If I click on it, click on my name, then you're gonna see the gear. And then all the way to the bottom, you'll see sign out in red. If you're logged in, automatically logged in as a teacher.
Sorry, could you show me again? I was in mine still trying to find it.
Sure. So right here, it would have your name here.
Oh, over there.
And then you click on the top left, you click on that, and then you'll see a little gear.
Yes.
And then when you click on the gear, you sign out.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, are we signing up as a student or as a,
You are signing up as a student.
and did you want us to make an account like our name and all that?
So, okay, so what we did is we hit the login, you sign in as a student, and then you enter the code that I shared in the text box, and then you click log in, and then you use your Google credentials.
Okay.
And I'm able to see that as you guys are logging in, I'm able to see it, and you should be in the class that's titled ELAR PD, just similar to what I'm sharing on my screen right now. And then if you can, if you have any questions, you can ask me or put it in the chat. And if you don't, if you could just mute your microphone.
Okay, I am not following here.
All right.
Okay, so ma'am,
Yes.
so it's supposed to ask me to sign up.
Yes. So this is the directions. So I'm going to share with you again my screen. This is the directions that you need to use to sign in. Okay, so I'm gonna share this screen right now. And right here at the bottom, I'm gonna open up the directions. Okay. And so you open up the program, you choose I'm a student, and then where it asks you for the code, you type in this code and then click enter. And then once you enter, it's gonna ask you, do you wanna sign in with creating an account or with your Google, and then you sign in with Google. I'm already seeing a lot of people signing in right now. I can see you guys coming into the classroom, which is good. If you're having problems logging in, you can also follow along, and even though you won't be able to get the full experience, at least you'll be able to follow along with the screen that I'm sharing right now. So just a little bit about what you're looking at right now. As a student, this is what the student will look at when they are signing in with a Chromebook. If your students are using iPads, they will also be, it will look a little bit different, but pretty much the same thing where you see the two options that they have of journals, activities, and an inbox. So in the inbox, they are able to see any messages that you leave for them, okay? Let me come back over here. So like right here, I've left a message for them. It's basically the introduction to my new writing journal. Also, they get notifications when they submit an assignment and it's approved or not approved. Under the activities, these are all the activities that the teacher, which is myself right now, posts to them to do. And then the journal, which is our writing journal, this is the journal that they keep. So as you can see, this was all from Tuesday's lessons. You can see that the work that they've done. So you're able to see each other's work. Now that option can be changed, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment, but I want you to see what the students are looking at this moment. Now, part of the writing journals that we discussed with the literacy team was the idea of the tabbing, of brainstorming and free writing and conventions and sentence structures. And so those, instead of using a tab in a traditional journal, you can label them with their folders. So for example, looking at this activity, the very first activity that's on the stream by Alma, she did an activity here that was labeled as a conventions activity. And so by looking at that, you're able to see, you know, they're filling their every folder with the different activities to show evidence of their learning. But also going back to the idea of that free writing, that authentic writing, how does that look and how can we do that in this platform? So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna quickly show you, since a lot of you we're at a level 1 and 2 with experience, I'm gonna show you the different options in how a student can respond to any activities or prompts that you may give them. So right here under that plus button, and I want everybody, if you guys are looking at your own screen, go ahead and come over back to the screen to share so that you can see what the features that I'm gonna show you right here. So this is the add button. And so when a student wants to add something to their journal, they can do that. And it may not necessarily be something that you assign. It could be, I did a really good a piece of writing this today. Can I add it to my journal? And you can certainly say, of course, yeah. So they come into Seesaw and they're gonna add a piece of work. And so there's different ways that they can add that. They can snap a photo of it, right? And that's the best one for me when you want to keep that authentic writing going. So they can snap a photo of that. So let's say that I'm going to use that option, right? So I'm going to snap a photo. And you're going to see that it's going to work in just a minute. So then you're going to see, oh, here's my writing. And so then the students can then, oh, let me see. Can then snap a photo of their writing, right? And so then now it's going to come up on this, in just a minute, it's gonna pop up. It's gonna come up onto their drawing board, okay? Let me try it again. Silly. There you go. So, so then now, there, the other one came out right now. Okay, so then here I have it, right? And so I can then see the authentic writing that I did for the day. Now you can tell your student, okay, I want you also to read it to me. Okay, great. So then you see that these are the different tools that the students have that they can enhance their journal entry. They can actually type text into it, right, by clicking on that and then typing. They can also, let me get that up. they can also record themselves. So I can hit record, and right now it's not because I'm talking to you right now. It doesn't work. But I can hit record, and then I can narrate my text. So I can hit that button. It'll prompt me to record with a 3, 2, 1, and then I can read, I like shopping, my friend likes ice cream, and so forth. If I want to, if you tell them, okay, we're learning about punctuation marks, can you highlight your punctuation marks? I can use these tools down here at the bottom and do that as well, right? So I have these choices here, and I can then highlight my punctuation marks, right? So there's all these different tools that they can do, okay? Caption, they can also, again, narrating. Once they're done and they want to submit, then they hit submit button, and then that's it. Now, as you can see right here, I submitted my assignment, and I'm just waiting for the teacher to approve it. So right now the teacher can, no one can see it. The students are in the classroom can't see it, and it's not posted in their journal until the teacher approves it. So once the teacher does, then it'll be part of their journal. Now, notice that there's no labeling in their tab, right? So this is free writing. So I'm gonna come here to my folder, and I'm gonna tab it, and I'm gonna put it in the right folder. And this is the folders that my teacher put for me. So I'm gonna say, oh, that's free writing sample. So I'm gonna hit that free writing, and then it's there tabbed, okay? So this is really neat because then the students can identify which part of the journal it goes to. And then they can also see how many entries they have of everything. So notice that I have just one assignment in my sentence structure, but I have no other ones, right? And it's not showing up in free writing yet because my teacher hasn't approved it. So this is where you can sort and stay true to that journal, okay? So the other thing is the comments. I can comment to friends. Let's say that you want to, for whatever prompt or for whatever reason you want your students to make a comment on each other's work, you can do that. But let's say that you don't want to do that at all. You want to disable comments, you want to disable likes, because you can also like a picture. You can certainly have control of that. So it's just posting. If you tell your students, okay, you know what, you need to go back because you need to edit your writing. So you notice there's some common words that you misspelled, and you spelled them correctly in the other parts of your writing, so you can go edit that. The student can then click on these the options that they have here, and they can edit. Okay, so I can edit my post by clicking here and editing my post. So I can go back here and I can say, oh, I know I forgot the letter E here. Okay, oh, I know I forgot the capital I. So there, that goes into editing and revising, right? So then I can resubmit to my teacher. So those are one of the options. Now, here in the activities, these are all the activities that my teacher has placed in my options to do. Okay, you can archive them as a teacher. You can archive them, and I'm going to show you the teacher view in just a minute. But right now, we're just looking at student view. You can archive these so that the students only have their what is assigned for that week. The other thing is looking back at that journal. You see how you see everyone's work? Well, if you just want your students just to see their own work, or you have the students that are remote and you want to make sure that their work is protected, right? You don't want to violate anybody's rights. You can also have turn on the options of home learning, which automatically disables everything that would expose the students' work to each other. You can do that, or you can go in there and just wipe it off or disable it altogether. So those are the two options that you have. So what I want you to do right now, is I want you to go in, and I want you to go as a student, I want you to go into the activities page, and I want you to find an activity that you would like to do. Okay, and I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes to do that activity right now. And then you're going to go through the process and see the different options, and then you're going to submit it. Okay, and then as you're doing that, you'll be able to see your colleagues' other work, and then I'm going to change some settings. I also want you to try to make comments, and let's see if you make comments on each other's work and see how that works, and then also making sure that whatever you post, you make sure that it's in the right folder, right? So it's in the right journal tab. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to do that right now. Before I start, I want to see, is there any questions from the board? Okay, all right, so go ahead and go. 5 minutes begins now. Yeah. As you're continuing to work, I'm just going to be talking in the background. If you are not able to get in, then you are looking right now at my screen that I'm sharing. And as you can see at the bottom, you see that I've gotten one review, and that's the one that Jesselyn did. So I'm going to approve it here. There is an option to send it back, but that involves you having the premium version, which does cost to subscribe to. So the only option that you have is to approve and to delete. So I'm approving this one here. So far, I haven't seen anyone else do their work. Oh, I see one more. Let's review it. Perfect. Okay, so I have a question.
There's a question in here about the icons showing up in the directions when you're posting activities.
As a student, what they see?
Yes. Do you have those available somewhere?
Yeah. Yes, I do, and I'm going to share that with you. I've curated everything that I'm showing you guys. I collected about some 5-minute how-tos, the document that has the shortcuts to put in the icons. All of that I'm sharing with you in a Wakelet that I'm going to share with you in just right after this activity. Okay, so yes, definitely I have those for you. So I haven't seen any more journal entries being turned in. Oh, 2 more here. Let's review them. Awesome. Look at that. So I'm going to approve that. Approve that. And if you notice, I have different. Activities that are in both bilingual and monolingual. You can also support all your populations. So this platform does that and I especially like the icons. The fact that you have icons, you can then the directions can be written in a different language. The level of support you can do, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment when we come back, and you're going to see the teacher view and how I was able to do a little bit of support. So let's say you have an inclusion teacher that is helping you in your class, and you want to add them to your classroom that you create, then you can do that. You're allowed, with the free version, you're allowed to have one collaborative teacher, and so that could be your inclusion teacher. And I'm going to show you in just a minute how you can support that. So I'm looking again. I have 9 to review here. Good job. So let me see. I can also, if you're looking at my screen, I can also pick a student. And let's say Mr. Bettis, he's not here. He was here on Tuesday. I can click on his name and then just see what did he do. Oh, he didn't have anything turned in. So I need to follow up with him and see what's going on. Or let's see, I can pick on, where's Miss Elwood here, or Miss Hassel? Where did she turn in something? Not yet. Okay, I can click on Miss Elwood and I can see that she has not turned. I thought she did. Hold on.
Okay, check mine now.
Okay.
Mama, I did mine. What are you talking about?
I know.
I think
saw
I
that.
did it. I'm not sure if I did it right.
Okay. So I can then look. Let me see. I can see if I can find you.
I'm checking everybody's work. I don't see some work posted.
You can comment on mine.
Alan Letty, where's your work?
Oh, I'm supposed to look at where it goes.
Right. So you can go ahead and as you're looking at it. So
I
let's
put that in. It's what does a writer look like? I'll just put it right here in my evidence of learning.
So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna change the settings. So I'm gonna disable the comments. And so the way I did it is I went to the little wrench here on the right-hand side of my screen. I clicked on that little wrench, and here is where I have all my class settings. So under the students options, I can go ahead and disable that, the ability for the students to comment. Okay, I can enable the likes if I wanted to. And usually I disable that. When I was using this in the classroom, I disabled that just because then, you know, some students get likes and some don't, and then there's issues there. And with the comments, you can actually say, okay, I want you to go in and comment to somebody that hasn't had a comment. And then of course, then everybody has one, and then we talk about peer editing, right? If you don't want to do that, you want to strictly just have them posting, no commenting, you can disable that as well, which I just did for you guys. So you won't be able to comment each other's work at this moment. Now, if I don't want you guys to see each other's work, I strictly want to keep this a journal for you. I'm not going to use it for submitting activities. It's just going to be submitting samples of your writing, then I can disable that. And so there's no need for students to see each other's work, and I can go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna actually change that right now, and you can't see it. So also, I showed you a little bit a while ago how the students can go back and edit their items. Let's say you don't want to do that. Let's say you're making a quick fluency check and you don't want them to go and re-record themselves or anything. You can disable the item editing as well. So let's say I don't want them to go back and edit. I can just turn that off. And so now it's strictly I turned it in, it's a final product done. Okay, and there's other options that you can do. Of course, you can enable the family access, and this is what I like the most. That way, the parents have access to their students' work as they're submitting it. So the moment that they submit something and it's approved, automatically, if the parent is logged in, they get an email sent, and then they can go in and comment to their children's work, which is really cool. Now, managing the folders. This is where you create the folders that you want in your portfolio. So here is where I went in and I made those journals. And so of course I went back and followed the expectations of the writing journal. And I also added, of course, the reader's response, because that's always important since you can respond in writing. And so I can create a folder. I just type it whatever I want. Color coded, green check. The green check is always the enter button, and then that's it. And then that's all that there is to it. Okay, so you have all those controls as a teacher. I'm gonna approve all of this. So are there any questions so far? Now there's a lot of things that I haven't shared with you because Seesaw training could be an all-day affair. And so I know that we're limited in time and we only have about 20 more minutes, and I do have more to share with you. But are there any questions of scenarios that you can think of? I know that last time they asked about the issues with privacy. We addressed that. I told you you can disable that. Somebody asked about the cost of the premium or school. What are the different levels of Seesaw? And there's actually there's 3, which is your free version, which is what you're on right now, which has a lot of features. And there's ways to work around it. And I'm going to show you that right now with the inclusion or extra support for a student. The cost for the premium, however, is $150, I think, a year. And then you have the option of purchasing it as a school or a district, okay? And then then when you become a teacher, you can go to the level of an ambassador, which is a very experienced Seesaw. And I believe that we have 2 ambassadors in our district. One is at Medio, the other one is at Hidden Cove. And so they, luckily, I know Medio Creek right now has a big attendance right now. So you guys have Miss Molinat in your campus that is a Seesaw ambassador. So she gets ahead of time all the changes in new features. She gets additional training and then that way she can spread the word for Seesaw herself too.
There's a question in the chat, Laura.
Yes.
Can you add pictures for folder names for non-readers?
Fortunately, no. No, they don't have the option for that. Not in this version here, and I don't think in the other version. So that's a question that I can follow up and check. But Cynthia, I said no. Am I correct in that? Is Miss Molinat here? Yeah, no, because when I click on this, it only allows, you can do like oh yeah, that's true. Let's try that. Can I add an emoji space? Okay. I can add an emoji, so that'll work. Jeez, I didn't hit the check mark. Good. Alrighty.
Another question in the chat. Can I set up folders after work has been assigned?
Yes, you can set up folders afterwards after it's been assigned. So let's say I have this one right here. This one I turned it in today. If I want to edit my folders, let's say I put free writing and brainstorming and I just want to pick one folder, I can go back and I can edit my folders and I can remove it from brainstorming and free writing and then say, you know what, this is going to be my evidence of learning, and I can hit that check mark. And then as a student, you can enable that as well or disable that, okay? The great thing about this is that when you go to the journal, you have different ways of viewing this. You have this stream of activities, or you can say, I assigned something on Tuesday of this week. I want to see how many submissions I had. I can click on this little calendar view here, and then I have my calendar, and I notice that on the 15th, I had 33 entries, and then I can click on those, and I can see everybody that submitted their work. Okay, that's really neat. I can also do that by activity. So let's say I'm going to click here at this activities. It's going to take me here. This one was very popular on Tuesday. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to see how many of my students did it. Okay, so it'll show me, it'll list me all my students, and then it'll show who did it. Okay, and then I can click on theirs and then view it.
There's another question in the chat.
Yes.
It says Miss Justo and Miss Elwood submitted work, yet you weren't able to find it. What happens when we can't find student work, or did you find it and just didn't notice it?
I just did. I think there was some glitches happening because now I can see it, and I might have done something with changing the settings because usually you're supposed to be able to see everything. So right now, okay, here it goes. I'm gonna go to my class journal. See, I knew I did something wrong. You saw I didn't read that fine print. This is my class journal. So it had me in the approval page. Now I can see it. So now you notice how before it was just the names, and now I can see their names, the day that they registered, and how many items they've turned in. So let's go back now to Miss Elwood, and I can see, let me see where she's at. Right here, I can see that she submitted assignment. And then I can click on her and then see her assignment. So there. Yeah. Okay.
Did I pass?
Yes, you did, ma'am. Okay, and so let me show you really quickly how I found these activities. And this is the important part, because the activities with the free version, you have access to the library, activity library. And it is filled with different activities by master teachers, ambassadors, and they're vetted. And they are quality lessons that range from kinder all the way to 12th grade in multiple subject areas. And so the way to access that is once you log in and create your teacher account, then if you haven't yet, then you create it, and then the activities button here that you click on will lead you to it. So you have the option to browse activity library. So when you click on that, it's going to take you to the library. And so again, you have options to choose from pre-K all the way to 12th in all subject areas, okay? And this is the community library. Then you have your own library, my library. And so this one is anything that you create, anything that you see in the community library that you like, you can heart it, and then you can assign it. Now, this is important. With the free version, you can create activities like this one here. Let me show you one that I really like. This one, the Fractured Fairy Tales Library. Miss Melissa Tuesday loved this activity here. And this one, unfortunately, has 9 pages, okay? With the free version, you don't have the ability to create templates of more than 1 page for your students, okay? If you had the free version, you can create multiple pages. But if you see this activity in the communities library and you like it, the directions are fine, everything is good, you would be willing to share it as is, then you can assign it to your students. And that's kind of like a workaround behind that. I can go ahead and from here, I can assign it to my classes. It'll ask me which class you want it to assign to. I can say I want to assign it to my ELAR, and then I assign it. If I want to edit, it's going to ask me that I need to upgrade, okay? And so if by going in and looking at those at the library, you're going to find some things that are pretty good to go and ready to be assigned to students from there. If you want to modify, then you can do that as well, but just know that you can't do that when it has a template attached to it more than one page. So let's practice. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to celebrate dot day. So you notice that the student made that template. The teacher also recorded her instructions, right? So if I don't want to assign this to a student and have another person's voice, I want to record my own. So I'm going to be able to edit that. I can because it's only a one-page template for the students. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to heart this. So when I heart this, it automatically saves to your library. So when I come over here to my library, it's right here, okay? And so when I click on it, now I can edit. I can copy and edit, okay? Oops, is it multiple pages? It's not letting me. Oh, because it's 2 pages. Okay, let me find something else. Hold on just a second. Okay, so I've had this one, okay. Now I can go ahead and copy and edit. And now I have control. And so now, let's say that I wanted to record my voice. I can hit add voice instructions, and then I have now added voice instructions to my typed instructions. So I can modify it there. Let's say I want to add a template that I create on Google Slides. I can add my template there with the link, or I can, use any of the other features here and then do that way. Okay, now let's say that with this one, I want to modify it for my ELL student. I can do that and put support, right? I'm identifying that as needing extra support. So for here, I can click on that example and I can record myself saying, giving additional instructions, right? And then when I'm done, when I'm done, I can save it and I want to assign it. And let's say that I just want to assign it to that one student. I can edit my students and then just assign it to my one EL student, or whoever student that needs additional support. I can assign it to just her and send it, and then only she will see it. That's the cool thing about that. The activity was assigned and I can view it. Okay. Any questions with that? Okay. So the exit ticket was going to be that you guys log in as teachers and find an activity that that you can pull from the library and attach it. But we're running out of time, and I really want to share with you the Wakelet. So we're gonna leave. I'm gonna leave that link in the library, and if in the Wakelet, and if you're willing to get additional credit, please help me in collecting some activities that are vetted from us as SWISD teachers that we can be sharing with each other. So
There's a question in the chat.
yes, ma'am.
Can
Yes.
students work on an assignment gradually, or do they have to complete it all?
Well, if you enable that edit, enable the item editing, then they can continuously work. So let's say that they have a piece of writing that they're writing it out, and then they want to edit. They can do that. You can do that as long as you enable that setting in the class setting. Before I move on, I forgot to show you that the way you create a classroom is you click on that name at the top left corner. You click on that name, and then you can create as many, up to 10 classes. If you have the free version, you can create up to 10 classes in one account. Each class can hold about 150 students, and you can add an additional teacher to your class. So even specials teachers who want to do this, and they can have their whole grade level in there. As long as it's not more than 150, you can do that. Could you put all the specials teachers in one class? No, not with the free version. And so what my idea is that you can create, especially going back to that objective of the ELAR, is creating one that was strictly for writing journals. And then I know that Miss Doherty wants to do this for math journals as well. So I can go ahead and be ahead of the game and do that as well, and make that math journal one. And then when you create it, it's gonna look just like this. And then it's from scratch. You create, you can create your classroom and add your students. You can do it, you can do it here by going again to that wrench to your class settings and modifying the classroom any way you'd like. Okay. Now, I wanted to share with you the, let me switch my screen. I wanted to share with you the Wakelet. Okay, so I'm gonna do that right now. And so, are you able to see that? Am I showing the right screen where you see the Seesaw Wakelet? You don't see that? Yeah, I'm not sharing. Okay. Let me see. Okay, there it is. Okay, so this is the Wakelet that I'm going to share with you guys. And in this Wakelet, it has, if you didn't get into the classroom and you want to be part of that class, I will be supporting the ELAR by finding and curating lessons as well and plugging those in. Somebody asked me about the icons and the codes for that. It's right here in the link. It's a PDF. I know that in June, we did an introduction to Seesaw training. So that recording is here on YouTube, as well as the slides that go with it. I have also attached here a 4-week lesson guide, K through 2nd, and then within the slides, there's a 3rd through 5th grade link. And so you can go there, and it's 4 weeks of different lessons and how to gradually get your students exposed to Seesaw. Here there's home learning activities. So I know the majority of our students are still at home. These are activities that can be done as a family for the students. And I've also linked some master teachers, so master ambassadors. So here he has a great YouTube video, and he also is very active on Twitter. And so I just linked different ones, especially if you're into social media. There's also some face groups. So this one right here is the link to the Seesaw Espanol. You just have to answer some questions, and then they let you in to be part of the group. And then just the traditional Seesaw face group here, the Seesaw teachers, and they share lots of activities that you can save, and they just share them with you. You save them, open up your account, and then you can save in your My Libraries. In My Library, you can save up to 100 different lessons at one time. And I'm going to share with you that right now. So here we go. I'm going to share with you the Wakelet. All right, I'm gonna stop the sharing right now so I can. There we go. In the Wakelet, I also, there's a slide that's called ELAR PD Seesaw examples. And so if you'll look, it's color coded that the Tuesday group they kind of got into groups and they did the activities, and they pulled out a literacy activity or a literacy, and some of them did math, an activity from the library that they saw, or some of them actually created an activity, and then they plugged it into the slides. Now I left some for today there. We're going to do the breakout groups, but we only have 5 more minutes, and I don't want to do that to you guys because of the weather outside. But if you guys post into that slide, I will do a drawing, and I will be sending out some goodies for you guys. So that's kind of an incentive to do if you can go in there and do that activity. But basically all you're doing is you're finding an activity that you think it would be good for our students and plugging it in there with your name, and then we'll get those and we'll do a drawing. So let me do that really quickly.
Laura,
So you
by
can
when
see.
do you want that done?
I'm gonna give till next Friday. So right now, hopefully I'm sharing the right screen here. Are you seeing my Wakelet? Okay, so right here at this button here, it'll take you to the ELAR. So right here are the examples on how to, okay, hold on, there you go. On how to do it, how to get to the library, the different steps that you take to get to that library of activities. And then those right here, the yellow buttons, this is where I want you to plug in a lesson. Make sure you write your name, and I'm gonna do a drawing, and you will get a surprise from the Learning Innovation team. If you look at the ones in blue, those are the activities that the groups on Tuesday did. So that's all of their activities. So if you wanna browse through those, you can as well. Any other questions before I send out the reflections form? So this I'm going to send you right now is your exit ticket. So this will gain you credit for today. I'm going to drop it in. So if you could please do a reflection of the Seesaw. It could be a reflection of the training. It could be a reflection of what you thought about Seesaw, any thoughts that you have, something that made you think. And so if you could do that, and then if there's any questions, just know that this is just a touch, and this is just a bit of Seesaw. There's so much more to cover, and there's so many different ways to use it. There's a Seesaw extension. There's of course the iOS, the phone version. There's of course the web-based one. So there's a lot more, and so luckily we are here to help you. I am supporting again all the elementary schools with the exception of those 4, but they are also our Seesaw fans, and they will support you as well. So the Seesaw is not a replacement of anything. It is just an addition to, or an additional tool that you can use to support your instruction, and especially right now in the environment that we are, this would fit perfectly in the rotation model where you can have, as you're teaching your students, the students at home can be doing an activity, the students and doing Seesaw, they can all be doing Seesaw at one time. And then as you rotate to kind of lower those numbers and lower the stress level of still continuing on our instruction. So, so hopefully it has something that you will be willing to do. If you want more support, if you want me to come in and sit in PLCs, we're willing to do that. Sitting in PLCs or grade level meetings, or even going back and just focusing on your campus for a specific PD, we are willing to do that. We are very excited, and we want to make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful. So with that being said, if there are no more questions, the chat, Google form is in the chat, and if you can fill that out. And if there are no more questions, thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a great day, and I hope I get to hear from you guys for additional one-on-one support, or your grade level or your campus. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to work, and then as you're doing that, you can go ahead and log off. And if you need to see, if you need any questions, I'm gonna drop my email in the chat as well. And Lizzie will too. So the district attempted to see the pricing of a district subscription, and it was way beyond our budget. I know that there are 2 campuses that are currently moving forward with the campus purchase, or they're, and I believe that's, yeah, I think it's 2 different campuses. So if you feel that the school version would be beneficial, you know, check with your principals. Seesaw just got approved as a vendor this week. They reached out to us, but again, as far as the district-wide purchase, it was going to be way overpriced for us to be able to fund that. So yes, get with your campus administration.
Do we need to register somewhere, or do we just use the icon on our Clever for Seesaw?
So you can use the icon on Clever. You can go directly, as far as for a teacher or
Well,
for
but
students.
for both, for teacher and student.
So for students, yes, they can go on to through Clever and sign in that way. But the way that you can do it is if you go to Seesaw, there is also a sign in with Clever app that needs to be turned on. So I've already submitted that request. So that should be hopefully happening in soon. But when you create a classroom, you can also import through your Google Classroom. So there's different ways of doing it. My suggestion would be going through Clever and then signing in that way into the Clever account for the students.
Thank you.
Mhm.
You're gonna put this presentation up, right? Because I came in a little late, I couldn't get in, but I really do like all these gadgets. So
Yeah. Yes, we recorded the session, and I'm gonna share it out the participants again, the link. So as long as you registered through Eduphoria, you'll have everything that you need, that you saw today.
No, I don't think I registered. That was my fault. But I did submit the form of participation.
Okay, so let me give you the link to register on Eduphoria, so that you can do that, and that way you get credit, because you'll have to enroll for that.
It was closed already, so that's why I couldn't.
It was closed already?
Yeah. It wouldn't let me
Okay, so
in.
if you know what, then if you did your exit ticket, I'll add you.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, I'll add you.
Thank
Miss
you so much.
Ibarra, right?
Yes.
Okay, no worries.
Okay. You have a good evening.
You too, ma'am. Yes.